it's a difficult one, and I think the Villa job as well is a job for sure that would interest him. So it's been a funny old time though, Laurie. Dean Smith getting the sack at Villa, I was disappointed to see that one.
Yeah.
I just think
Yeah.
he'd done a great job there. Real Villa man, loves the club. A little bit like Chris Wilder when he left Sheffield United, a lifelong supporter of the club. I don't know. I think it's been difficult. Grealish went. How do you replace Grealish? They were
Yeah.
very much almost a one-man team when I saw him last year. He was so good, Grealish. Everything went for him. And they've just not been able to replace the people who come in, haven't really hit the ground running. I think he needed more time. But the job's up for grabs. There's going to be plenty of people. Villa's a great club. Norwich is a smashing football club run by good people. So, two good jobs for somebody.
Harry, I want to ask you, mate, in all seriousness, is this as bad a time as you can ever remember in terms of managers and coaches not getting time within the job? I'm with you, mate. I was gutted for Dean Smith. I can totally understand Daniel Farke. Of course you can.
Yeah,
and I think Steve Bruce I think Big Brucey was always up against it in Newcastle. But somebody like Dean Smith are sometimes are perhaps owners and fans a little bit unrealistic.
Oh, absolutely. I just think surely they've got to look at that situation. I mean, he brought them up from the Championship. I remember going to the Championship playoff final when they beat Derby, and so a lifelong supporter of the club. His dad took him every week. His dad was a steward. Just loved the club. It's part of his life, and a fantastic young manager, with a great future. And suddenly he's in his dream job. And they've had one little blip, and he's gone. I find it's very difficult to understand. But listen, all the clubs now, Ali, they're not owned. It's a changing game.
Yeah.
Back in the day, all the clubs were owned by local businessmen who grew up loving the club. Now we're full of, apart from Norwich, I know, where they've got local owners who, again, but most of the clubs are owned by massive, super rich businessmen from all over the world, and they just think they can go and be top of the league or be in the top four for some reason, and only four, they can't all do it. And then when it doesn't happen, they pull the trigger very quickly.
There was an article in the Times today that's quite interesting because we've had the most dismissals at this stage in 17 years. And there was a suggestion that maybe it's because the fans were back, so adding a little bit more pressure because you've got that instant reaction now.
Yeah, possibly. Obviously, we've got lots of social media and that type of stuff. But I think it comes down to the owners in the end, and who really do think they should be winning leagues and being up there and winning cups and trophies. And if they just don't understand, they're going to have a blip at some stage in the season. You lose 4 or 5 games now, you're under pressure. They don't care who you are. It's just gone crazy.
What about Antonio Conte going in at Spurs? So we saw his first game. What did you make of it? What have you thought since you've seen that of his job and what he's going to do and whether or not he can get Spurs perhaps? Well, how far up the table do you think he can get in?
Yeah, well, I think I think they can push towards the top 4. Although I think it's Man United, West Ham. They'll be fighting it for that top 4 position as well. West Ham have been fantastic. David's done an amazing job there, David Moyes. But I think Tottenham could probably go on a run and get close to that. So yeah, good appointment. The top manager's won everything there is to win, and he'll go in. I think he'll shake the place up a bit. It needs that, obviously, because they've had some fantastic the last couple of managers. Pochettino the last season couldn't get a tune out of them, and then whoever's Jose came in, had the same he couldn't really get them going. And then Nuno came in and had the same problem. So he's got a big job on his hands. It's a great club. It's all in place there. The training ground's incredible. The stadium's magnificent. And he's got some good players. So he's got a real opportunity, I think, to get them going.
Harry, I was going to say to you, mate, before we move on to West Ham, which is an incredible story, and you touched on it there. Getting back to Antonio Conte, I actually think he's a great man for the job, but I would not be underestimating the job at all. I think it's a massive job, mate, because I think he had great success at Chelsea, he had great success in Italy with Juventus and indeed Inter Milan, but I think this might be his toughest ask, because I think in many ways, I don't know whether you agree, Harry, I think in many ways, the clubs that he was at before, there might just have been a better quality of player there. And also, when he went to these clubs, he's now at Spurs, where he's got Manchester City, he's got Chelsea, he's got Liverpool, he's got West Ham, particularly clubs in Italy, maybe the competition just wasn't as fierce.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I agree, Ali. I think the thing is, as you say, at the moment, you look at Tottenham, they're nowhere near the team they were a couple of years ago. You know, a few years back when they had Walker and Rose at fullback, the two Belgian boys in the middle, you know, Eriksen, Dembele playing. They just, Harry was in great form at the time. It looked a real, you know, it was a better looking team. This team at the moment, it really looks, they are looking quite average. And he has got some work to do, but so are Man United not looking great. I think really the team in form who you would fancy to finish fourth and probably deserve it more than anybody is West Ham.
Yeah. Cool. Can I ask you quickly, Rio has come out now, Rio Ferdinand, and said that potentially time is now up on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and we haven't really heard from former players of his era that have ever really gone against him. Gary Neville famously will not call for anybody's head in terms of a manager. What do you think of what's happening at Manchester United and with Ole in particular?
Yeah, he's got to be under severe pressure, hasn't he? You know, they brought players in. He's had the backing of the ball, and you know, listen, if Dean Smith and people like that can lose their job, certainly Ole can. You know, he's at a club there where they should be doing a lot better. Their performances have been poor, and I've never met him, but I like him. He looks a lovely guy. Michael Carrick played for me, who works alongside him, another great guy. But I don't know how much longer he can go for. I think he's got to be under severe pressure.
Yeah.
Harry, just before you go, I want to talk to you, if I may. West Ham, man, honestly, what a story that is. They said the stadium had no soul, it had no emotion, it had no, you know. But what about it at the weekend? What a game, eh?
Yeah, a fantastic game, wasn't it? And it's great to see them doing so well. You know, it's people say, well, they've got a new stadium there, and they fill it every week, 60,000 people. You know, I used to laugh when people say West Ham's not a big club. They're a big club, great support, and it's fantastic to see them doing so well. And David's just done a great job there.
Yeah,
just knows what he's doing. It's not rocket science, Ali, is it? We all get carried. We hear so much nonsense now, so much jargon, as though it's like, you know, that some of these young coaches, they're inventing a new game. He just comes out, gets on with it, brought in good players in the right positions. They work hard. You know, they know what they're about. He works hard on the training pitch, and he's getting great results, and long may it continue for him.
Brilliant. Harry, enjoy Loch Lomond today.
Swing easy.
Will do.
Say hello to the boys. Wally, say hello to Willie. You see him in the locker room, Harry, and have a great day, mate.
I've got £2 for Willie for a tip. He'll be all right.
talkSPORT Breakfast with Laura Woods. Monday to Wednesday mornings 6 till 10. On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.